recording. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the compound interest, how to calculate the compound interest instead of annual condition, because for the annual condition we had already discussed earlier. Now we are going to discuss about for half yearly and quarterly. Okay, and we are going to see the compound interest another formula. So previously we had done the compound interest with the long method. So today also we will continue with that long method for a while, and then we will go for the direct method. Okay, so with that one also we can understand. So compound interest, we all know what is compound interest. So till now you all had understood what is compound interest. So for the calculation of compound interest, you require some principal. Say as the principal is 1,000 rupees. The rate of interest, say as it is given to you as 10%. Now here the main thing which is going to be acting. So the rate which is given, so if it is given for annual condition, means 10% annually, okay, and the time is given, say as for example 2 years, and it has been asked for calculation of the compound interest directly just for annual condition, then you know how to do it, because in the previous class we had understood that one, that how we have to calculate the compound interest. So for you, first you will go for the calculation of the first year, and then you will go for the next year, and after that you will get the total amount, and with the total amount you can subtract it out from the principal so that you can get the compound interest. Now we are going to see for the calculation of the compound interest half yearly and quarterly. So what is the basic difference between half yearly and quarterly? So see, the lending companies or the lending institutes who used to give the money, they wants to earn more and more profit, and to earn more and more profit they used to impose more and more interest. So we had understood this thing, that the value of simple interests is smaller than to the compound interest itself. Okay, but in that also the compound interest which we calculate annually has a smaller value than to the compound interest which is calculated for half yearly. Okay, remember this thing, means half yearly has a greater value, and when we compare it with the compound interest quarterly, then it is having much more value over there. So those companies which are lending the money, so as I said that they wants to earn more and more interest, so sometimes they used to impose half yearly or quarterly condition for the compound interest. So if it has been calculated only annually, then comparatively it is a little bit smaller than to the compound interest half yearly. And if it is gone for compound interest quarterly, then that is the maximum value. So we are going to understand that how the values will be calculated in the compound interest annually, half yearly, and for the quarterly. So for the condition of annual condition, so if we are going for annual calculation, so we will use the principal, rate of interest, and the time period as it is. So there will be no change in that one. The principal, the rate of interest, and the time period will remain the same. There will be no any change, and with that one only we will go for it. And as I said, we had already done for the long method. So over there, we will use these quantities only for our calculation. So such as, for example, if you are going to calculate the interest for the first year, So for the first year, if we will go for it, then the principal would be 1,000. The rate of interest would be 10%, and the time would be taken as 1 year. So that would be equals to, so the interest will be equals to 1,000 into 10 into 1 by 100. So if you will cancel for this one, it is going to be 100 rupees over here. So the principal after first year. So principal after the first year, that is equals to 1,000 plus 100. So it becomes as 1,100, as we had already done. And so on, you can go for the second year's calculation. So like that, whatever the question would be there, according to that, you can do it. But when we have to see for the half yearly condition, when we are going to discuss about the half yearly condition, then this will change a little bit. Whatever the question is given under that one, we will cause a change over there. So what would be the change, or what kind of change we are talking about? So see and understand for that one. So in the case of half yearly, when the question is given for half yearly, principal will remain same. Whatever the principal is given, that will remain same. But the rate of interest which is given annually, it will be converted to 10 by 2. Means you have to divide, the rate of interest will be divided by 2. It will be divided by 2 because it is half yearly. So what would be the rate? It will become as 5% half yearly. It will be called to be as 5% half yearly. So that you have to mention. And the time whatever is given, such as 2 years is given in the question, it will become 2 into 2. So that will become 4 half years. 4 half years. So like this you have to say. So principal, rate of interest, and the time. So there will be a change in this condition. So see, rate of interest will be divided by 2. The time period will be multiplied by 2. So like this, you can calculate the time period. And with this new quantities, you have to go for the solution. Okay. So how we will go for it? So we will write it over here. So interest for the first half year. So that would be equals to, interest equals to the same formula, rate into time by 100. So here it would be 1000. Just the rate we will take as 5%. So 5 and 1, and then we will go for 100. So it is going to be as 50. So interest after the first half year is 50. So therefore, principal after first half year, that is equals to 1000 plus 50. So that would be equals to 1050. So it is going to be 1050. Now you have to go for four consecutive half years. Okay, because the time over here is 4 half years. So like that, you have to go for 4 consecutive events, or 4 consecutive years, so that you will be able to calculate the total interest over there. So as we had done in the previous condition, like that only we have to do it over here. Just the basic thing is that the difference which causes the rate of interest gets changed, the time period gets changed, but the method will remain same. So that is the condition which you need to remember. Is it clear? Are you getting this thing? Students, have you understood? Yes or no? Or is there any doubt? If there is any doubt, then you can ask. Everything
No, sir, it is clear.
Everything will be the same. Everything will be the same. Just only what I had said, the rate will change and the time will change. So if you will change that one, after that one, you have to follow the same method. Okay. Now, the same kind of condition, or the similar kind of, I will not say same, similar kind of condition, we will go for the quarterly condition. Okay. So suppose, for example, if we have to go for the condition of quarterly, if we are going to calculate for the quarterly, then how we are going to change for that one? So just now we had discussed about the half yearly. Here we had understood about the half yearly. Now, if I have to go for quarterly, then what would be the calculation? See, the principal again remains same. The principal will be same. The rate of interest, whatever the rate of interest we had taken, that will be divided by 4. Earlier we had divided it by 2. Here we are going to divide it by 4. Okay, so it was given 10% annually. So we have to calculate compound interest quarterly. So when we have to go for quarterly, then we will divide it by 4. So you just, you can cancel it also. So there is no problem. You can cancel it for 5 by 2 times. So it will become 5 by 2%. Don't make it as mixed fraction. Otherwise you will get confused to solve the questions. And the time period, as we had earlier multiplied it by 2 for the half years, here what we will go for 4. We will multiply it by 4 and it will become 8 quarters. 8 quarters. So it will become 8 quarters. So 2 years will be divided into 8 quarters. So like this, we will get our quantity. And then with this value, we will go for the calculation for each and every individual condition. So such as, for example, for first quarter, if you have to calculate. So first quarter. So the interest will be equals to, the formula would be the same. P into R into T by 100. So over here, that is 1000 into rate of interest will be 5 by 2. So 5 by 2 interest time will be 1 into 100. So again, these two zeros are going to cancel. With this 2, you can cancel this 5. So it will become 25. So interest is 25 over here. So you have to add it over there. So for 1000 plus 25. So it is going to become as 1025. So this is the principal after the first year. So after the first quarter, not first year, I will say first quarter. And then you use this one for the second one. And simultaneously, you will go for third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. And at the eighth one, when you will go for the final eighth calculation, then whatever interest you are going to get, you add it to that principal so that you will get the final amount. And that final amount minus to the main principal would be equals to the compound interest. So like that, you can calculate the compound interest for the given case of half yearly or quarterly with the long method. So these things what we had understood, that is for the long method, means this splitting out and solving, that is for the long method. But this rule will be implemented for the shortcut method or the simple method for the calculation of the compound interest. So which we are going to see that just now. So I hope you had understood till here. So I'm going to the next one, that is the direct method of compound interest. So for the calculation of direct method of compound interest, we use two different rules. Okay. So one is that we directly go and solve for the compound interest. Okay. So its formula is P 1 plus R by 100 minus 1. So this is the direct formula for the compound interest. But sometimes students make mistake in this rule. So that's why I don't recommend this one. I would go for the easy one, that is for the calculation of amount. If you will go for the calculation of amount, then that is P 1 plus R by 100 N. Here N I had left it out. So N. So in this one, we recognize most of the things. This amount we know, this principal we know, this rate of interest we know. Just this N is new over here. That is the time period. Okay, so this is time, nothing else, but it is the time. So you have to remember this formula. So if you will remember this formula, then easily you can calculate for the compound interest. So first you calculate the amount. After you had calculated the amount, just compound interest would be amount minus principal. Just this much only you have to do. And by that doing, you can be able to solve your question. Now, let's solve some question regarding to this one so that it will be easy for you all to understand. Say as for example, I'm taking the principal again 1000. The rate of interest say as it is 10%. The time period say as it is 2 years. Now, if we have to go for the calculation of compound interest annually, only annually if I will go for it. So what I said, you can go for the direct and amount calculation. So amount would be equals to P into 1 plus R by 100 N. Now you place all the values. So here it is 1000 into 1 plus R is there as what? 10%, and it is by 100, and N would be over here 2. And like this, you can solve it out. So it will be 1000 into, you take the LCM, that is 100. So 100 plus 10 with power 2. So it is 1000 into, so here it is 110 by 100 into 110 by 100 because it is power 2. So these two zeros can be cancelled with this one, and these two zeros can be cancelled with this one. So when you will multiply this one, so 11 and 11, it is 121 with 1 0. So 1210 is the amount. Now, if you have to calculate for the compound interest, then what would be the formula? Amount minus principal. So just you subtract it out. So 1210 minus 1000. So it will be 210. So compound interest is 210. So like this, you can be able to calculate the compound interest simply. You don't have to go for a long step, means continuous for first year, then second year, nothing. Just only with this one, you can easily be able to calculate. Is it clear? Have you understood? Then I will go for some other conditions also. I hope you are understanding this thing. Okay, then let's move to the next one. So if we have to go for some other kind of calculation regarding to this one, so how we are going to calculate for it, or how we can be able to calculate in different situations. Suppose, for example, this same question has been asked for half yearly. If it is for half yearly, then what would be the change? What would be the change? Then the principal will remain same, that is 1000. The rate of interest will be 10 by 2, and the time period will be multiplied by 2. Okay, so it is going to be 5% half yearly, and it will become as 4 half years. So you will use the same method. Amount equals to principal 1 plus r by 100 and n. So here principal is 1000, 1 plus r that is 5% now, by 100, and time would be as 4. So you go for the simplification. So that is 1000. So here 100. So 100 plus 5 to the power 4. So it is 1000 into, here it is 104 by 100 to whole to the power 4. Now you split this one. So it is going to be 1000 into 105 by 100 into 105 by 100 into 105 by 100, and similarly one more, it would be 100 by 105 by 100. So you just cancel these zeros. So 2 and 3 zeros can be cancelled, and then later on you have to multiply. A lot of multiply you have to do. So when you will multiply this whole and then divide it by this much, then you will get the total principal, sorry, the amount over here. So what is it? Is going to be 105 into 105 into 105. Just a minute, I will just do that one, and then I will give it to the answer. Okay, so it is a very big value. So 121,550 625 by 1 5 zeros, 3 to 5 zeros. So what it will be? It will come in decimal. So 2 to 4 and 5. So over here the decimal would be. So here it is going to be 1215. We will take it as the roundup value. So 1215 or 16 also you can write. So you can write 1216 also. So this is the amount. Okay, so which is going to be paid. So what would be the compound interest? So compound interest is equals to, again, amount minus principal. So you just go for it, 1216 minus 1000. So it will be 216. So like this, you can be able to calculate the compound interest half yearly. So from the previous condition, this is little more. Okay. And the same kind of condition you have to use for the quarterly condition also. For the quarterly, just the difference would be there. Instead of dividing it by 2, you will divide it by 4. So it will be 10 by 4, and multiplying it this quantity by 4 only. So 2 into 4, it will become as 8. So 8 times you have to do. So it will be little bit big quantity. So you have to be very conscious about the solution while you are multiplying, while you are solving. At that time, you have to be very mindful for that one. Okay. So I hope it is clear. Is there any doubt? Then you can ask. If you are getting any kind of doubt, any kind of problem, then you can ask me. So there is no any problem. I will explain it again. Is there anything? Yes?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Then I'm going to give one more rule. I will give one more rule, and that rule will be helpful for you to solve. And the students, you have to solve the compound interest not in this class, but in class 8 as well as in class 9. So for an ICSE, there is their compound interest is present in class 8, 9, and this will help you to solve in class 10th also. In class 10th, banking questions are there. So there, the calculation of interest will help you to solve over there. So if you will be good over here, means in these chapters, then you will be good over there in those chapters also. Okay. So what basic rule I want to say, some of the situations which we used to see, sometimes what we used to have, say as the time period, the time is given in fraction. Okay, suppose for example it is given 2.5 years. Okay, for 2.5 years the time is given. So if you are calculating for the annual condition, if you are calculating for the annual condition, then time would be 1/2 only. Okay, but if you are calculating for the half yearly, then it will be easy. So then it will become as 2 whole 1/2 equals to, that is 5/2 into 2. So that will cancel and it will become 5 half years. So you can place the n like 5 only. So this will become the 5n. If it is quarterly, if it is quarterly, then also it is little bit easy. So 2 whole 1/2. So that will become as 5/2 into 4. You will multiply it for 2 times. So 10 quarters. 10 quarters you will use over there. But when you are solving for annual condition, then 2 whole 1/2 as n is not so easy to place. Suppose, for example, if I have to calculate for 1000 as a principal into 1 plus r is say as 10% by 100, how could I write it as 2 whole 1/2? So there will be a problem for you to solve that one. Okay. So under that condition, we have a rule. So you need to remember that rule. What is the rule? You just have to change a little bit over there. What the change will be there? Instead of writing in this way, you will write it in this way. So just a minute, I will just explain it here. So 1000 as the principal into 1 plus 10 by 100 with 2. Out of this 2 whole 2, you just go for 2 first. And then again you put a multiply and then write 1 plus rate, whatever the rate is. So 10 is the rate into 1/2. The fraction will come inside. The fraction will come inside and there will be nothing at the top. There will be nothing at the top. Here it will be nothing. So no any value. So this value will come just to multiply this rate. And then you need to solve this one. So suppose if I am solving for this one, it is going to be as 1000 into 110 by 100 to the power 2 into, while I will solve this one, this 2 will cancel this 10 for 5 times. I will get it as 105. You will solve this one. I am writing it directly and this will be 1 only. And then just go for the solution. So that is 1000 into 110 by 100 into 110 by 100 into 105 by 100. Now you can simplify for this one. These 2 zeros can cancel these 2 zeros. Here these 2 zeros will cancel this 0 and this 0 will cancel this 0. Now you multiply over here 121 into 105 by 10. Whatever the value will be there, that will be your amount. Okay, so like this you have to solve it. So if the time period is given in the fractional form, then for the annual condition, for the annual only I'm telling. So for this method is not going to be split used in the half yearly or in the quarterly until and unless you are not getting a fractional value. Suppose you got it as a fractional value. Suppose sometimes it may possible that in the half yearly also you got a fraction, in a quarterly also you got a fraction. So if you get a fraction over there, then you will use to split it out, and by splitting you will solve it. Okay, so this was first basic rule, one of the trick you can say. One more trick which you need to remember, that is for consecutive rates. Sometimes interest used to be implemented for consecutive rates. So say as for example, the time period is given 3 years. The time period is given for 3 years and it has been asked that for first year, the rate of interest is 10%. For the second year, the rate of interest say as 15%. and for the third year, the rate of interest is 20%. So for consecutive years, it has been given. Then how could we solve for it? So if this kind of question is present to you, then you have to solve it in this way. So amount equals to principal 1 plus R1 by 100, and the value would be 1 because this is for one year only. So this I am recommending as R1, means rate 1, into I will go for the second condition. 1 minute, please. Yes, I will go for the second condition, 1 plus R2 by 100 with again 1, because this is again for the 1 year only. So this is R2. Okay. And then I will go for the third condition, and I will go for 1 plus R3 by 100 and again 1. So this is for the third year. So like this, we will solve it and then we will get the final answer. So this is the method which you have to use for solving the question. So I hope that you all had understood this thing. The concept is clear. Now you can solve it. But even though if you are having any doubt, anywhere, then you can ask me. You feel free to ask me. Yes, students, we will discuss it over there. If you are having any kind of doubt, any problem.